What's going on, y'all? Today we got Tim Duncan just had to go and say that. I think this is a story about the game we recently watched, Michael Jordan versus the Twin Towers. Let's watch this though. Let's see if I'm right.
Best three players of all time.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Backstory.
Wow. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is like the end-all be-all. Like, he's the best player I've ever seen. I believe he's the best player I'll ever see. I believe he'll be the best player a million years from now.
The best player I've played against has to be Michael Jordan.
I mean, me personally, I'd go with Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Best of all time has to be Michael Jordan.
For me, it's MJ all day long.
I have watched him a lot, and I know what a great player he is, but I've never really, I don't know, had a liking for him.
Okay. Damn.
If you were to go around and ask everyone on planet Earth who they believe is hands down the greatest basketball player of all time, the vast majority will more than likely say it's Michael Jordan. Now, you will hear a few other names sprinkled in there, but for the most part, MJ is the man. Whenever somebody mentions a different player other than Jordan, it's almost like breaking news or something.
The next person who walks up to me and say, LeBron James, who is amazing, as good as Michael Jordan, or competes like Michael Jordan, I'm just gonna slap the hell out of you right on the spot.
And how ironic is it that, of all people, perhaps the quietest one blatantly came out and said what others wouldn't dare. Now, don't get it twisted. Tim Duncan does have the ability to be a savage. Just ask one of the best trash talkers of all time, Kevin Garnett. Even he gives Duncan a ton of credit.
Was there someone that you loved, you knew that the motherfucker could back it up, Andy was gonna talk it to you?
Believe it or not, y'all, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, shout out to Timmy.
And just look at the way he tried to intimidate Richard Jefferson with a little push, and I guess a death stare of some sort. So you might not want to mess with Timmy. As you all know, Duncan was selected #1 overall in the 1997 NBA draft, teaming up with David Robinson to form a dominant frontcourt. The Spurs were absolutely abysmal the previous season, but with their new addition, things were looking bright. And just in their third game into the season, we got to see how they would do against the reigning champ, Chicago Bulls. It was November 3rd, 1997, in the United Center. A rookie Tim Duncan was obviously excited to play Jordan in the Bulls, but that doesn't mean he was a fan. Before the game, during shoot-around, he had the guts to openly say this.
I've watched him a lot, and I know what a great player he is, but I've never really, I don't know, had a liking for him.
Certainly a bold move, especially right before you're about to face the man. So the question is, did Jordan ever find out what Duncan said before tip-off? Well, it definitely seemed like it. Then again, it didn't really matter. He was always out to destroy anyway.
Challenging Michael Jordan from 20 feet out. And now Robinson is at the other end of the floor as MJ hits that. Play hard, scored a little bit for him last year. Michael got him in the air, puts it in. MJ steps out. Now takes the long range deuce and hits from the right side. The turnovers, three-pointers. They were a little slow getting that ball to Michael that time. And Michael's right now making cuts off. Yeah. You're going to miss Craig Elo, huh? 48-46. It's a two-point game, and it can be tied right there. Hey.
Yo, see you know.
San Antonio needs a timeout.
Even though Jordan had no problem dominating, it still remained a pretty close contest.
The Bulls didn't get a hoop out of that. Absolutely. MJ spins, quadruple team.
Dropped it off. That's the last time too.
And it was only a matter of time before Michael zeroed in on Duncan.
I used to remember.
MJ, rocker step. Hey, no stopping that one. See what San Antonio do now to Avery Johnson.
Yeah, like some tuning in, like, nah, I can't let my teammates on the island with these dudes.
This was only Duncan's third NBA game ever. He was still getting in the rhythm of things. And with that said, he still held his own.
The announcer, Ray Clay, tell you there's 2 minutes left. Duncan turns with the left hand and the outside. Duncan gets it down low and slams.
This game definitely lived up to the hype. And with the game coming down to the wire, Jordan had to do what he's best at.
Tony Kukoc, 4 threes. seconds. 1 second. This is to tie. Yes, sir.
So the game would go into overtime, and MJ went right back to business.
It's open for a second. Shot clock at 4 and 3. He can do it again.
And once again displayed his clutchness, just like he did at the end of regulation.
MJ one-on-one with Elliott, fades, fires, hits again!
I'm telling you, you're different.
And the Spurs want a timeout.
So they would head into a second overtime, and this is where he would put the game away for good.
In the shot clock. Game clock at 36. Michael one-on-one with Sean Elliott. Fakes the shot, fakes it again, baseline jump.
Iced him.
And again!
Iced him.
Not a bad game for one that was this early in the season. Michael put up 29 points, all without Scotty's help. The two teams would meet again on March 14th, 1998, and this one was more of the same.
Inside of Del Negro. That time they did not double John, and Michael took
advantage of it. Another game.
First quarter.
That's crazy.
In close. Oh, it's got
well,
that
obviously
way
it's another
down.
game, but
Simpkins finds Jordan. Tipping around the screen by Rodman. Michael Jordan. In a hole. The foul. Yes, sir. Got by Jordan off the rebound.
Jordan was feeling it to start the game, and the second half was no different.
Couldn't fast break. Yeah. And Dennis is surprised to get the ball. Michael. Robinson got it on the reverse. Michael got it back. Pippen's in the corner. Michael to the fallaway over the Admiral. 5 to go on the shot clock. Jordan. Inside of Robinson. In the face, everybody.
And of course, Duncan had a front row seat.
Jordan against the rifleman, Chuck Person. Robinson lurking to help. Jordan, left hand in their face. Tony Gamble, Duncan, Michael Jordan in the league in block shots with almost 8 a game, and here he goes up to shoot it. Michael says no. Michael mishandles for a moment. 5 to go. Down to 3. Down to 2. Got it away.
You're saying those skip hop type shit. You said right by him. Thank you.
Jordan and the Bulls got the victory again, in a much more convincing fashion this time, and MJ ended the night with 30 points. Duncan and the Spurs would still go on to have an incredible season. Their win total greatly improved with the addition of Tim, claiming a spot in the playoffs, and eventually making it to the second round. But they would ultimately lose to the Jazz in 5 games, while the Bulls went on to capture their 6th title. During the 1998 offseason, Michael Jordan made an appearance at one of his camps, and someone asked him who he thought was the most talented player in the NBA, and this was his response.
Most talented player in the NBA? Most talented? You got a lot of talented players. You go with Duncan. Duncan is probably, don't sleep on Tim Duncan. I would think he's probably the most fundamental all around big man.
This was very high praise for a player just coming off of his rookie season. So maybe Michael was never aware of Duncan's jab he said a few months earlier. Otherwise, he wouldn't have showed love to him like that. And how did Duncan repay him? Well, during that same summer in 1998, Duncan made an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show and was once again asked about his opinion on Jordan. And just like before, he did not hold back. Quote, "I've never been a fan of his. I'm just somebody that isn't all that impressed by him." He went on to say that everyone just hyped him up too much and that he was sick of all the attention surrounding him. Man, so what exactly made Duncan go in on Jordan even more after the season? Remember, Duncan seemed to be a little more polite when he made those first comments. Could it be because he knew that MJ was in the building before that game? So he just didn't want to piss him off that much? And maybe the reason he felt that he can go at Jordan even harder on the Dan Patrick Show is because he knew that Jordan was on the way out of the league? I don't know about you guys, but that's kinda cheap to come out and say that after the man basically just retired. And if you ask me, I think he dodged a bullet and was lucky that Jordan wasn't around to face him in the 1999 NBA Finals, because we all know how vengeful Jordan can be. and what could have been if we were able to witness that matchup in the finals. We all would have loved to see MJ get his hands on him. Then again, it's still entirely possible that Jordan never found out about Duncan's harsh words, because throughout the years, Jordan has always openly said that Duncan could have easily played in his era and continuously raved about him. So I can only imagine the kind of reaction Michael had once Tim Duncan's old comments surfaced on the internet just recently.
But I've never really, I don't know, had a liking for him.
And to this day, if that's true, that Jordan only recently found out, then I believe Tim Duncan is pretty much the only one remaining that Jordan never got sweet revenge on. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down.
That's the end of this one, y'all. This is tough, man. Let me know if there's any other videos like this you guys want me to react to. Comment down below. Like the video. Click on the last reaction on your screen right now. And I'm out of here, man.